Between 1855 and 1915, the logging industry used the Mississippi to transport timber from the northern woods down to markets in St. Paul and beyond. The lumber business worked on several different levels in St. Cloud. On top, there were the lumber barons, like Nehemiah Clark and Charles Gilman. Clark owned timberland across the valley of the upper Minnesota, while Gilman parlayed his lumber business into 6 years as lieutenant governor. In the middle stood the sawmill owners and lumberyard managers. When the logs reached St. Cloud, local sawmills, such as those owned by H.J. Anderson and C.J. Bridgman, turned the raw logs into sawn wood, then supplied local companies that would, in turn, either sell them as lumber for construction or turn them into a finished product. Others like Raymond and Owen and Freeland Dam built small fortunes from finishing of sashes, windows, and doors. These local companies helped fuel St. Cloud's rise in prominence in the 19th century. Matthew Hall, a young German immigrant, tried his hand as a railroad man, but then he caught the attention of Charles Gilman, who hired him on the spot. He did so well that Gilman encouraged Matthew to start his own lumber yard. The key to his success is his perfect honesty, Gilman wrote later. When he was a boy, I would have trusted him with every cent I had in the world, and the years have proved that I was justified in my faith. At the bottom of the economic pile was the logger. Charles Gilman described his days with a logging drive. In June, when the great mass of logs were being driven down the river, hundreds of the log drivers, all dressed in red blanket suits, would celebrate their homecoming by drinking poor whiskey until they were wild, and then they would paint the town red with their fearful yelling up and down the streets. For several nights, if we slept at all, it was within hearing of their continued yells, 10 times more hideous than dangerous. For drunk or sober, the rough pioneer lumbermen of Minnesota were big-hearted, big-souled men who would do no harm. Then we slept in lumbermen's wanigans and tents on the banks of the river, and ate with them of their delicious baked beans. Local resident Elizabeth Louderman recalled, "The logs backed up the river because they got stuck by the St. Germain Street Bridge. They couldn't get through there. The wanigans," she said, tied up below the dam. These were the place that the log drivers slept. They didn't have any power, only a great big paddle in the back to steer down the river. They always had wonderful cooks. They used to bake the best cookies, and once in a while they would give us one. But as a local newspaper said in 1893, the logging industry was eating a big hole in the forests of northern Minnesota. The supply of trees dwindled, and the era of the logger came to an end by 1915.